Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MPN 101 community call. My name is Chinmay Bhavani Shankar, and I am part of the U.S. Partner Experience team. The goal of the MPN 101 call series is to simplify the partner program for you as our Microsoft partners, and I simplify this program one topic at a time. Today, we will be talking about the Microsoft Partner Portal, the one place where you can go to get a lot of information about your program membership. On the agenda today, like I do with all of the previous MPN 101 community calls, I'll take a quick overview of the partner network for anyone that might be new. We'll also go through some other resources, and the reason I'm kind of putting this up front is so that we can walk through the partner portal afterwards, and hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that there aren't any technical issues. We'll deal with that once we get there. If at any point in time the stream goes frozen, then please refresh your browser. That usually solves the problem. So to give you a quick overview of the Microsoft Partner Network, there are three membership options: Network Membership, Action Pack Subscription, and Competencies. Network Membership is free. You get some entry-level benefits, connection to other partners, and customer connection. The Action Pack subscription is a paid annual subscription. It's meant for small and mid-sized businesses. And for less than $500 a year, you get a certain number of internal use licenses and access to support. Competencies is an earned designation, and it showcases your capability. There are two levels, there's silver and gold, and competencies, in addition to the entry-level benefits, you get additional internal use licenses, you get eligibility to incentives, and also additional support. The internal use license benefits is probably the biggest benefit that partners become a member of the program for. We provide licenses for our partners for their internal use, so within your organization, so you can use it to run your organization and save some money there. And also the main intent is that the more you know, the better you can sell. So we've also done some research to show that partners that have used their internal use licenses tend to sell more than partners that don't, simply by the factor of familiarity with the products and trying to figure out all the details and technicalities internally first before going out to the customers. For an Action Pack subscription, you get enough licenses to support up to 10 employees. With a Silver Competency, you get enough licenses to support up to 25 employees. And with a Gold Competency, you get enough licenses to support up to 100 employees. The list of the licenses that are available to you and the products that are available to you, that keeps changing with time, mostly because we like to make the most recent versions of our product available to our partners, but it is not immediate most of the time. So if you have a new product release that you have in mind and you're waiting for that to be the internal use license and be offered to you as part of your program membership, please note that while it might not be there yet, we are working on providing those to you. This is the competency framework as we have it today. There are 17 competencies, and for those of you who've been around a while, we retired about 12 competencies last year. This was part of MPN evolution, with the program is continuously evolving. So I would be lying to you if I say that this is going to be the structure for the next 5 years. But I want to make sure that you know where to go to stay updated on these changes, and the MPN 101 community call is one place. So there are 17 competencies, and you can get all the requirements in one kind of unified document in the competency guide. But the partner portal, as we'll go through it, will be the single source of truth for competency related information. Among those 17 competencies, there are 5 cloud performance competencies. So cloud productivity and small and mid-market cloud solutions around Office 365, cloud platform competency around Microsoft Azure, cloud customer relationship management competency around Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and enterprise mobility management around enterprise mobility and security. There are 4 steps to getting this competency. You'll have to demonstrate sales performance, pass some technical exams, provide customer evidence, and pay a fee. And in return for all of that, you get unlimited cloud support around the product that you have a competency in. You get additional software licenses, you get eligibility to partner incentives, and if you have a gold cloud competency, you get guaranteed account coverage. One thing I wanted to point out is that the fee for cloud performance competencies, which was subsidized for this past year, so it was at $1,530 for silver and $3,940 for gold cloud competency. This was still less than the other non-cloud competencies, so the other 12 competencies that we had. Starting October 1st, the cloud competency fees will be the same as all the other competencies. So in other words, the subsidy that we had for cloud competencies will no longer be in place. So this price change will apply to you at the time of your renewal. So if you have renewed today, then next year when you renewed that cloud competency, the price change will apply to you. You can read more about the steps to attaining a cloud competency in my blog post. And also, if you are thinking about getting a cloud competency, then look at the Cloud Enablement Desk, and I'll talk about that a little more soon enough. And we'll go over this. There's one place for you to track your cloud consumption, track the cloud consumption that you are driving within the Cloud Services Partner Dashboard. And there's the Partner Summary Report, which gives you an overview of your membership profile, so including your status, your anniversary date, your competency progress. And I'll show you exactly where to look for this on the portal once you sign in. And again, quickly going through some other resources. If you ever need support, there are plenty of options for you. There's the community forums where you can search by the question that you have and see if it has been answered already. There's phone-based support. If you have an Action Pack subscription or a competency, you have access to this phone number. And of course, if you have a cloud competency, then you have Signature Cloud support. There's also live chat that is available. And in addition to that, if you need technical consultation on customizing a solution for your customer or for deployment and design, then you can get pre-sales and post-sales technical consultation using your advisory hours. Cloud Enablement Desk, as I talked about earlier, if you're looking to get a cloud competency, this is a free program where you get access to a cloud program specialist for up to 6 months. You will have someone to walk you through the program, to talk you through what are your requirements, what competency is best for you, and how can you get to that competency quickly. And one way to stay engaged with us is Microsoft Inspire. This past year, it was in DC. I saw quite a few of you there, and this next year it's going to be in Las Vegas from July 15th through 19th. It is the biggest partner conference that Microsoft hosts, and register today on the website. I think if you register now, you'll probably get the best price. If you wait until later, the price is only going to keep going up. And last but not the least, the MPN 101 community call that you're attending today. Next week, I'll be talking about modern marketing resources. And the past calls, I talked about incentives and investments last week. And the week before that, we talked about digital partner of record, which is a very hot item. And a lot of people have questions around that as well. So if you missed those calls, you can still watch them on demand. And the hot sheet is the one place that you can get all the in-person and virtual online training in one calendar. So you can see what's coming up for the next 2 months. September, October, and early November tend to be the busiest times. We'll have a lot of events going on, so make sure you take a look at the hot sheet and see if there's something coming your way. And there are multiple ways to stay connected with us. The MPN 101 community calls you can check off, but you can also engage with us on Yammer, Twitter, and now on LinkedIn. If you haven't joined the group on LinkedIn, please do so. Now that we actually own LinkedIn, there will be a lot more activity on there as well. Let me get to the messages and I'll switch over. Sanjay, you said, how do we avail of the monthly Azure credit? We have gold in content and collaboration. If you go to the internal use licenses site, you will get information on exactly how to activate your Azure credit that you have. So that would be this. All right, let me switch over. And folks, this is probably the first time that I'm actually doing a live walkthrough. I apologize if there's a delay or any technical issues. All right, I'm hoping you all can see my screen right now. And what I'm going to do is walk through the partner portal. And while I probably don't know every different facet of the portal myself, I would like to point out some key things to you that you might find useful. So this is a discovery process for me as well as you. We'll be walking through this together. And if we do have any questions, if you have any questions that I can't answer, then I'll definitely get back to you and take it offline. All right. So this partner.microsoft.com, when we talk about the partner portal, this is what we mean. I have signed in with a dummy account, but you can click over there to sign in so that it is catered to you. So let's start from the top here. You see there is partner network, membership, and support. So that's kind of the overarching pages. And within partner network, so you can see here, this is what I've clicked. So within partner network, there's business opportunities, reach customers, connect, solutions, training, and inspire. And if I click on membership, then I will be looking at how it works, program updates, incentives, accounts and reports, enrolling and renewing. And in the same way, if I click on support, then within support, I will be looking at community, my support, services, and top partner questions. So 3 overarching kind of hero pages, if you will. And within that, there are additional sections. So this kind of title bar, this will tell you which section you're in, and within that, which subsections you have access to. And at the bottom right here, you can see the Start Chat window, that green window where you can start a chat. If you click on it, you have access to the MPN support team, and you can talk to them and have your questions answered. And so if you look at the top partner questions, and sorry, I might have to refresh the page really quickly. All right. So if you look at the top partner questions over here, there is a library of all the questions that partners have asked us in the past. So how do I get my competency logo? How do I activate? I think, Sanjay, you had that question. How do I activate Microsoft Azure internal use licenses? There is exactly that out here. How do I get started using the partner support community? What are partner advisory hours? So on and so forth. You can see here that it's also grouped into benefits, cloud services, downloads, membership, incentives, technical services, and training. So there is a huge number of questions that are answered here, and it links you to the right place. And if you ever have problems with the site, access it in private browsing. Larry, thank you for that tip. So this is the top partner questions. Every time I get a question from a partner, this is the first place I go to see if the question has already been answered. Mostly because it is pretty holistic, right? Because it tells you not only how to do it, but it gives you the links where you can go to do that particular activity and gives you access to those support articles where you can actually go activate your internal use licenses. Then moving to the side, then there's services. And so this is where we talked about, and I talked to you briefly about technical pre-sales and deployment. And you can see here that you can get started and on all these different kind of practice areas to engage with technical experts to plan your customer solutions. So let's say, for example, I started on Office 365. It tells you what you have available to you. So you can, if you have engineering questions, then you can go through Dev Chat for Office 365 and start a chat there. If you want an introduction to Office 365 app development, you can register for the webcast. Similarly, for smarter apps, there are multiple webcasts. You can also request a consultation. So for app dev architecture consultation or productivity solutions consultation, you can request a one-on-one or sometimes one-to-many technical consultations on here as well. And if you need deployment services, you can submit a request to receive personalized technical guidance from Microsoft experts. So there is a wealth of resources on here that you can get started with. And this was just for app dev, similarly for cloud productivity and business processes as well. And this was technical pre-sales and deployment. That's how I got there. And you can compare the support offerings that we have, the technical benefits. So advanced support and premier support for partners are paid support offerings, and you can compare exactly what you would get. What is the SLA? How does that change? And how much that costs you? If you go to My Support and My Benefits and Activities on that end, now here you'll actually see how many incidents did you open, how many advisory requests you've had, and how much program support you've had. And it'll show you by ID and category, when was it created, what's the status on each of these activities. It also tells you what are your support benefits specific to you. How many advisory hours do you have? How much signature cloud support incidents do you have, right? So this is unlimited if I have an Office 365 competency or an Azure competency. The number of incidents here is unlimited. And with the Silver Pack, Silver Competency, you get 15 incidents, right? And I haven't used any of those. So you can submit a product support incident, advisory service request, or submit a membership issue, if you will. And then there's the community. So what does that mean? If you go to the partner support community, you'll be logged in and ask the community questions that you have. So there are people that are contributing to it. You can search for it. And there are different categories. Now that opened a new page. And then there's the technical services blog here. And this is where the technical services team talks about different areas, and you'll see that there are a few people that are constant contributors based on what their level of expertise is. Now that was all within the support overarching page. Now let's go to membership, and I think I got a question about the cloud services dashboard. We'll get to that soon enough. If you're looking to enroll, you'll click on that. If you're looking to renew your membership, you'll click on that. And when I was talking about cloud services dashboard, so within membership, you have your accounts and reports section. And within that, there's the cloud services dashboard, training library, and partner summary report. If you click on cloud services dashboard, so you will see if our reporting, we do have technical updates quite often that happen, and you will see a notice here, but you'll have a summary view of the number of seats you've sold, the seats you've deployed, what are you partner of record for, and so on and so forth. Starting a chat, if any of this is not accurate, asking the MPN support team, Chris, would be your best option. And again, specific even to the channel incentives tab, the reporting that you should see should be accurate. If not, then call the MPN support team. They should be able to assist you. So this cloud services dashboard is designed to give you that insight on what Microsoft sees. So let's say you're the digital partner of record for 8 of your customer subscriptions and only 6 of them show up. Something isn't right. I would also give it some time if you make a change or if your customer adds you as the partner of record to make sure that this kind of reflects within our system. Sometimes it takes longer, but at the same time, if that's happened way in the past and it's not quite showing up for you, then you should get that corrected as soon as possible. Yep. So if I click on incentives, I will automatically have to log in because it is dependent on the fact that it is specific to each of the accounts. And then there are training documents, there's a release summary, and you'll see the summary view of all these, or you can go by each of the products also. So that was the cloud services dashboard. And if we look at the training library, this is where you'll see data to help you manage customer subscriptions who've designated you as the partner of record. So that takes you back to the dashboard. And this shows you the cloud services subscription data. There's also a user guide and video. I believe the second one should actually change. It's kind of coming back to the same dashboard. The partner summary report is the third one. And this is where you see your profile, right? So what is your membership level? How many competencies do you have that is active? What are your competencies at risk? So when it says at risk, it's just for you, for us to bring attention to the fact that, let's say, like a customer referral is expiring, or that the performance that you reported, like you're coming up for renewal and the performance that you reported, it's usually trailing 12 months. So in the trailing 12 months, you don't meet the requirements for that competency. So just something to keep in mind as you come up towards renewals. Jay, that's the thing. I couldn't take you to incentives because I'm in a dummy account and I'll have to log in. Once you click on it and you're signed in, you'll see your incentives that are specific to you. And you can go back to the incentives and investments call that I've had, and also on the partner incentives and investments Yammer group. The only thing about investments and incentives is that it is specific to your membership and how many competencies you've gotten. And for investments, you can only see the things that you are eligible for. And for incentives, you'll have to go in and actually apply for the program that you think you would be eligible for. Like we had the CSP incentives, it might still be running until September 30th or something like that, where you'll have to go in and apply for that incentive and make sure that you've finished all the paperwork for that. The incentives and investments Yammer group on the US Partner Yammer community is also a great resource. I believe they have slides on there that tells you about all the incentives that are available to you. And what competencies you have in progress. So in this summary report, in this partner summary report, there might be competencies that you're working towards without quite planning on it, right? So maybe someone took an exam and you're already on your way to getting that, or you have customer evidence for a certain project that you did that applies to both. Or there might be some performance requirements that you're already in progress for. So this kind of tells you what of your current capabilities applies to other competencies as well. And the other part also is it tells you what your IUR consumption is looking like, and your training and accreditation, how many Microsoft certified professionals you have, and how many support hours you've used. So everything in one place, if you will. So that was accounts and reports. If we went to incentives again, so this will just take you to a page that shows you all the different programs. And you'll still have to, you can download it and look at what these incentive resources are, but you'll still have to sign in to see what you are eligible for. Then we get to how it works. So when you go to the overview here, this is for if you are a brand new partner, you can get a silver competency, or if you're looking at a competency, you can see the requirements for all the competencies here. And this is why we have the MPN competency guide to help make sure that you're not clicking through everything if all you want is just an overview. But if you click on the competency, and again, this is still the single source of truth. If you look at that competency, there's a brief description, what products are associated with that competency, and you click on the competency details. and you'll see the right options. And you'll have benefits and requirements on here. What benefits do you receive for a competency? This is the core benefits. And also for silver and gold, and these are the requirements. So there are different options to get to a competency, and there are different options that are coming soon. So hosting, distributor, learning partner, and if you look at the Azure consumption option, it'll tell you what are the performance requirements, what exams and assessments you'll need to pass, customer evidence, and paying the fee. The other step also is we want you to complete your organization's profile as often as possible and keep that updated. Mostly because if you have a primary program contact that's moving, you want to make sure that the name has been changed and the permissions have been changed. If you don't have roles in your organization for different people, I would also recommend doing that, because our communication is based on the roles that you assign. So if we have any marketing workshops coming up, sometimes we tend to target partners who with a marketing role, or the primary program contact, or the business decision maker. So if you don't have this updated and you have 15 other people in your company, you would be the only person getting all the emails, because it'll ultimately kind of default on one person. We try to target as much as possible, but the profile ultimately is up to you as well. So that was all within membership. And now if we go to the partner network, so we finished support and membership, and within partner network, you'll see business opportunities, so how to build a practice. You'll see a lot of resources around that, digital transformation, building your IP, how would you reach your customers? So again, tools and services to reach your customers. This is where all the marketing resources, so Smart Partner Marketing, Partner Marketing Center, where you can get assets. So again, let me click through that. I get a lot of questions about, are there preset assets that I can use? And yes, there are quite a few here. You'll just have to go in and kind of search for exactly what you're looking for. There are campaigns, and let's say you want to view a campaign, for example. And there's also different assets which you can explore. So there's pitch decks, copy blocks, and other things that you will need that you probably are spending money and or time trying to recreate on your own. And when you view the campaigns, this is what a campaign would look like, right? So you can use this infographic to use in social posts or in your website. You can have customer presentations. There's a business event kit. There's copy blocks. There's a customer brochure. I mean, you name it. There is a lot of marketing assets here that we've built for our partners specifically. And there's digital transformation, branding, and campaigns, as you can see. So that was all within reaching customers. And if you look at connecting, you can go to the blogs. So this is where we introduced the new learning portal, talked about blockchain. There are case studies. this is a lot of this is specific to Worldwide, right? The Worldwide Partner Group that owns the partner program, they put up this information. So this is not US specific per se, but we do have a US specific blog as well on TechNet that you can access. And if you look at solutions, this is more of practice building information. So licensing is a hot ticket item. Cloud Solution Provider Program obviously is up front and center because that is the licensing model that we are pushing as a business. But there's other licensing options and agreements that you can learn more about. So product licensing, also financing. Are there payment solutions that you can use within the Microsoft network that can help you with your licensing agreements? So a lot of what can I say? A lot of acronyms like MPSA and EA and all of that is explained here in the licensing agreements, and you can also compare agreements here as well. So enterprise agreements is EA, MPSA is products and services agreement, and then there's the online subscription agreement. And I know there are a lot, but I'm just trying to make sure that you know where to find information about each of these on there. And of course, we have training. And within training, the learning portal is something that's new that was released recently. And you can look at training events, there are new releases, like new assessments that have been released. And it links to the learning path. That's where you get exams for your competencies. And you can also do learning plans. And just a note, so the learning plan records have actually been deleted as of August 31st. So there is Partner University's learning plan feature, which is now available instead of the learning path. And Partner University is, again, if you look at it, if you go back here, so that was the learning portal. This is Partner University, where you can create the learning paths. So the learning portal also kind of takes you there. I know it might seem redundant that we're going from one place to the other, but I think the idea is to consolidate everything, but for now they are staying in separate areas. So there's a lot of back-end changes that we keep making to make sure that your experience is better, but sometimes it is a bit painful in the process before we reach from point A to point B. All right, so this is about all I had. If you had any questions or if you want me to go to specific sections, let me know. I know I didn't get to everything, but I got to everything that I thought might be useful for you. Active entitlements on the competency requirements. So competency requirements does say active entitlements. So active entitlements is the count of users on a specific workload, including Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Skype for Business, and Yammer. So the number of users who are using a specific workload. So for example, for Office 365, you can have 100 active entitlements on Yammer, and that would count as active entitlements, but you can have people kind of checking all those workloads, including Exchange, that same 100 people that you have that you're selling, say, Yammer for. If they start using SharePoint Online and Skype for Business and Exchange Online, then each of them counts as an active entitlement. Partner summary report has to be checked by the partner. So you have to have your sign-in that's associated with your MPN ID in order to look at the partner summary report. And as I'm answering questions, folks, there's the last poll question about satisfaction on this call. Please let me know. I want to make sure that this was useful information to you. And if I can improve this in any other way in the future. Thank you so much for attending. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'll still be on the line if you have any questions.